Hey everybody, I know it's been a very long time since I've uploaded a video, and today is not going to be any jet ski, boat kind of stuff like that, but I did do some stuff to my Volkswagen Tiguan, and this video is going to be for anybody who wants to put an additional subwoofer in it. This one has a Fender audio, so I know there's like questions, can you add it, can you not, but I just kind of on a whim the other day just bought a system to put in here. I have not had anything like this in a car in over a decade. I used to do this years and years and years ago for a job before I actually started taking life seriously. So I'm just going to show you what I did to it. Pretty basic. 4 gauge off of the battery, looped around here. Really, this was the best place to mount it. Didn't want to go in between the ECU, didn't want to drop below the master cylinder for the brake. Just runs through, cut through the grommet and the firewall. Pretty standard stuff. Bass knob. Sorry, it's not focusing. There we go. Bass knob there. Sorry, my car is dirty. And then the remote wire. Let's see if I can get this with one hand. Remote turn on wire. Spliced into there to an accessory with a little add fuse. I don't know why my camera is not focusing very well. There we go. 10 amp fuse on that. Obviously all the kick panel, all this stuff has to come out, run the wire through. Wire comes back through here. And then you can see the sub is back here. I'm gonna move the seat forward a little bit. There we go. So the amp is not screwed in or anything. There's Velcro on the bottom of it. I do not know why this is not focusing very well. But yep, it's a little 800 watt RMS Class D amp. I think it makes like 1200 watts max at 1 ohm. The sub is at 1 ohm. You can see all the wires ran through here. The seatbelt buckle down here. The grounding wire kit, and I'm sorry, the amplifier kit that came with it. The eyelet for the mounting of the ground wire was not very big, so I just kind of used a step bit, drilled it out, and then bolted it to the seatbelt bolt here. Wires are underneath here. Remote wire from the front is running along this way, and you'll see I've got like an additional remote wire run out here. I know that's not like the best looking thing. I've just got them both added in together here on the remote wire. I really don't care, but it goes back to the line output converter. Now this is the real tricky thing for a lot of people that I see online. They kind of don't know how you need to hook up a line output converter, where to go. A lot of people are going to the amp that's like underneath the passenger seat and doing all that. Completely unnecessary. The thing is though, is a lot of these line output converters, especially this kicker one here, can only handle 55 watt max on it. Well, the sub, I believe, gets 40 watts times 2. So you can look here. It's got 2 gray wires and 2 white wires. The grays are one channel and the whites are another channel. So what I ended up doing, and this is what we used to do all the time, when we would just go into like one speaker lead rather than trying to use both. So we take both of the negatives, both of the positives, we put them together, tap in, and we just went off of the gray speaker leads, and then our RCA cables are going to run out, and then go back over to the amp. So this is the sub right here. It's an 8-inch Scar Evil 8, 600 watt RMS. I think the maximum is like 1,000, but man, it moves a lot of air. And I'm gonna leave a link in the description for where I got this stuff from. I got all of it from Amazon. The sub, the amp, the amplifier kit, all that came together. The box, everything came together in one package. It was like $359.99, and prime ship, got it here in 2 days. And it moves a lot of air. I have had systems back in the day, that granted this was like a decade ago. Man, this thing moves a lot of air. I really can't believe it. But I've had much more expensive systems with one sub, like 12 inches, that JL audio, that don't sound anywhere near the level that this thing does. And I've only got the amp. I'll show you the settings on it. They are very basic settings. So I've just got the gain turned up halfway. The EQ is on, a bass EQ is on 0. Low pass filter is probably around like 100 hertz is what I'm thinking. And the subsonic is only turned up halfway. And it is It's really loud. So one thing to notice though, or to notify, or note, sorry, it's been a long day, is that because I've got the line output converter that's on the subwoofer out, so if you adjust the subwoofer on your EQ, it's going to raise and lower the gain of the line output converter, or the RCA cables going to the amp. But then you also have the remote wire, or the remote for the amplifier that's dedicated to it. So what I would recommend is, you're really not going to hear this little sub back here anymore. I wouldn't say to turn it all the way off, but right now I've just got it like at 0, you know, not plus or minus anything, right in the middle. And then I just make all the adjustments on the amp, and then the remote for the amp, and it sounds really, really, really good too. So I'm gonna put everything back in here real quick, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys how the install looks once everything was put back. I want to show you guys before I put everything back together. This line output converter, and a lot of them have like a ground wire on it. This one had a remote wire as well, and that's why there was a second remote wire going up to the amplifier. So you can see that there is a stud here on the frame itself. That's where I got the ground for it, and then just tied off the remote wire up here, goes up to the amp. So I'm gonna put all. Okay, so that's how it sits in there. Really no point in trying to anchor it down or anything. It's really heavy, it's not gonna move anywhere, and it being on that mat actually helps it. But little 8-inch subwoofer, it looks a lot bigger in the video, but man, in person it's really small. So, but hey, if you guys have any questions, just shoot a comment or whatever, and thanks for tuning in once again, and we'll see you guys really soon. I got a couple of things that are coming up with my boat and my jet ski, so stay tuned. Take it easy.